My sister put a spotlight on me and my 7-year-old at her wedding reception and announced a charity auction to buy us. Guests laughed like it was a roast. My mom grabbed the mic and said, "Start the bidding at $0 because I don't think they have any value anyway." My son cried at a table full of strangers, and I've never felt so small. I'm Eleanor, 33F. My husband died in a car accident 6 months after our son Noah was born, so it's been just me and him ever since. I work at a small cafe in Boston and we live in a modest apartment. My dad, William, died of a heart attack 3 years ago, and after that, my mom, Martha, and my sister, Victoria, got colder and colder. Looking back, it was always little stuff talking around me at family dinners, acting like Noah was an afterthought. In early November, I got a wedding invitation on thick white paper with gold lettering addressed to me and Noah. Noah saw it and said, "Auntie's wedding, can we go?" So I called Victoria to RSVP. She said, "Oh, you're coming, how nice, and then just make sure you two are in proper attire. Richard's family is high society." I told her, "We won't embarrass you," and immediately regretted even saying that. The wedding was at the Regent Plaza downtown. I dipped into savings for a plain navy dress and bought Noah a suit. In the lobby, everyone else looked expensive, and I could feel people doing the quick up and down glance. An usher walked us past the front rows and put us in seats near the back, even though we'd arrived early. That's when I realized we weren't there to be included. The reception was huge, hundreds of people, speeches, a head table. Our table was tucked against the wall while my mom sat up front with Victoria and her new husband, Richard. I tried to wave once and Martha looked right through me. Noah kept focusing on the food and the music, so I stayed quiet and counted down until we could leave. After the cake, the MC announced special entertainment, the lights dimmed, and a spotlight snapped onto our table. Victoria walked over in her white dress and said, "Everyone, look, my sister Eleanor and her son Noah." She followed with, "She's a single mother. They live in a different world from us." And people actually giggled. Then she said, "Charity auction, Eleanor and Noah as a set. Who wants to buy them?" I kept wondering if getting up would make it worse, and then Martha took the mic. "Start at $0. Noah was crying hard by then, and I pushed my chair back and said, "We're leaving." Before I could even get him out, a man's voice from the back said, $1 million. He walked forward and said, "I'm James Morrison, William Griffin's attorney," and then, "This isn't a joke." He said my dad had a will dated the 15th of April, 2019. 85% of my dad's assets and his shares in Griffin Real Estate were to be split between me and Noah. 15% was set aside for Martha as living security, and management rights went to me. He also displayed bank records showing transfers Martha and Victoria made after my dad died, and said it had all already been filed with the court. I didn't plan any of that, and I didn't have the bandwidth to stop it. I just held Noah while my sister stood there smiling like it was still funny. James told me, "Let's go," and got us out a side door. He booked us a hotel that night, and the next morning his office had court papers ready, including an emergency order freezing accounts while the estate issues were sorted out. Over the next few weeks, Victoria's engagement blew up. My mom and sister were ordered to return misused funds, and they moved into a small apartment in the suburbs. Noah switched schools because kids started repeating the auction line at recess, and I couldn't let that keep happening. I took over at my dad's company with James helping on the legal end, and it was a mess at first, but it was real life, not some victory lap. About a year later, Martha and Victoria showed up at my office to apologize. Victoria said, "We did terrible things," and my mom just stared at her hands. I offered a written arrangement honoring the 15% my dad intended for Martha basic rent and living expenses, and told them the condition was one supervised visit with Noah each month. In hindsight, I'm not sure if that was kindness or me trying to prove I'm not like them. Now I'm getting messages that I ruined the wedding and should have shut James down and handled it privately. But they humiliated my kid on purpose, and I was in shock when the truth came out in the same room. Ada for not stopping my dad's attorney from exposing the will at the reception and for walking out after the auction.